Tell me, how did you divine or find your values? How did you work out what those were?
Yeah, multiple ways actually. So working with Mick, he has a nice technique that probably a lot of people on this call have also used, which is he'll ask you, what do you hate? And quite often people will very easily be able to identify what they hate. And what they hate will be effectively the reverse of that will be their values. So I hate it when people don't do what they say. So your value is integrity. You know, I hate it when people lie. Okay, so your value is to be truthful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's a really useful exercise. One exercise that I found really powerful was one that was run by one of our professors at INSEAD at the end of our time at INSEAD. So right at the end of doing the executive MBA, one of the professors, we had a room full of 60 students, and he took us through an experiential assessment of our values. And the way that that worked was that he would ask you to think of a time when, so actually put yourself in the mindset of being in that experience. Think of a time when you felt great because of an achievement. Think of a time when you felt upset because of something. Think of it, think of a time, yada, yada, yada. And now in 1 or 2 or 3 words, explain why, what, and from a values perspective. And so then you ended up with this tabletop, desktop of Post-it notes with all these different statements around values. And then he asked us to do an analysis and a synthesis of that, which led to a top level 2 or 3 values, and then 5 values underneath that, and then more values underneath that. And basically the way it works is that you've got these baseline values, but they sort of work their way up to your really absolute epitome values, if you like, the top values that you have. And I found that really, really valuable. Another example was when I got made partner when I first got made partner, we had this exercise in London, and they did a similar thing. They gave all the partners these cards, and on the cards were different values, and there was an approach made by where you had to basically remove things that were less important to you until you got to the final card. And in the context of being a lawyer, the final card for me was excellence. That was the thing that really stood out. So there's lots of different approaches, I think, to understanding your values. And I would say try multiple approaches, because that will give you different perspective. And then once you've tried those multiple approaches, again, have conversations with people about them, but ultimately write them down so that you can be clear about what those values are and why they're important to you.
Perfect. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.